There's no way that we can teach our high school students all about every person and event in history, but we can keep their curiosity alive and choose books that will whet their appetite and fuel a desire to continue learning throughout their lives. Today, I want to share our top picks for books for high school students covering the Middle Ages. Welcome to the Simply Charlotte Mason podcast. I'm Sonia Schaefer. Our new history curriculum, A Pageant of History, is designed for your whole family to study the same time period all together. There are books to read aloud to everyone, as well as additional titles for your students to read on their grade levels. In this episode, I want to share our selections for your high school students' independent reads. The list contains a great mixture of biographies, historical fiction, and original source documents to help your students form good, strong, well-rounded relations with the people and events of the Middle Ages. The Lantern Bearers by Rosemary Sutcliffe. 18-year-old Aquila is serving in the Roman army on the island of Britain, and he gets leave to go home and visit his family. When he receives word that all the Roman troops are withdrawing from Britain, he decides to desert and stay to defend his homeland from the invading Saxons. 2 days later, Saxon raiders attack his family home, killing his father and kidnapping his sister. Aquila vows to have his revenge on the barbarians. The rest of the story, with its twists and turns, traces Aquila's life as he pursues that goal and deals with the subsequent battles within his heart. This is a great book for older teens because neither its plot nor its characters are simple. There's no neat and tidy, happily ever after ending. Yet it gives a fantastic glimpse into life in that turbulent time period at the beginning of the Middle Ages, as well as a glimpse into inner struggles that are very much a part of life today. Famous Men of the Middle Ages, with extra chapters by Rob Shearer. Now, I know the original edition of this book is available free online, but I much prefer the newer edition that has been edited and updated by Rob Shearer with the extra chapters. This is the version published by Greenleaf Press. We know a lot more today about those famous men of the Middle Ages than was known in 1904, when Poland and Heron originally wrote about them. And that updated information is masterfully woven into this Greenleaf Press edition. So I recommend this version, not the older one. Plus, Rob added chapters on some famous men who were left out of the Poland and Heron edition. All in all, this book gives living biographies of about 40 prominent characters from the Middle Ages, from Alaric the Visigoth through Gutenberg and the beginning of the Renaissance. Classic artwork is included, so your students can put a face with a name and also see how people have depicted these famous events in history. Men of Iron by Howard Pyle. Now, you know, as you get into the Middle Ages proper, you need a good book on knights and castles and such, and this is the book for that. Howard Pyle was an excellent author and illustrator, and this novel of his, Men of Iron, is considered a classic. The plot is all about Miles Falworth, whose father was killed when he was accused of being involved in a plot against the king. In this coming-of-age tale, Miles sets his sights on becoming a knight and defending his family's honor. Your student will learn much about what it took to become a knight and what the code of chivalry really meant. We also have The Black Arrow by Robert Louis Stevenson. Your teen will get an unforgettable look inside the Civil War in England during the end of the Middle Ages, beginning of the Renaissance, the War of the Roses. Written by a master storyteller and poet, The Black Arrow is a swashbuckling tale that centers on Richard Shelton and his guardian, Sir Daniel Brackley. Sir Daniel has become a target in the Civil War. A band of archers who call themselves the Fellowship of the Black Arrow have set themselves against Sir Daniel and all of his allies, and Richard is caught in the middle. Throughout this story of intrigue and action, Richard learns many lessons about loyalty, honor, and discerning good from evil when the issues aren't necessarily black and white. As your students grow in the high school years, be sure to take advantage of these opportunities to discuss the principles that are presented in these wonderful books. Those timeless principles are what will instruct your teens' consciences and help them make future decisions in their own lives. Then, Famous Men of the Renaissance and Reformation, by Rob Shearer, picks up where Famous Men of the Middle Ages leaves off. Your students will read the stories of 14 prominent individuals who lived during the Renaissance. Those stories will depict how the literature and learning of the classical world became widely available because of Gutenberg's printing system and influenced people's thinking. The second half of the book presents biographies of 15 prominent men in the Reformation movement. Those of you who are not Protestant in your beliefs could easily skip those chapters, or you can use them to encourage some great discussions with your teens. Rob Shearer is careful to tell about both highs and lows of this time in history. He writes, "Among the figures from this turbulent time, there is much to admire and much to lament. There are examples of tremendous courage and examples of treachery, cowardice, and betrayal. The famous men of the Reformation teach us that matters of theology are critically important." And I think that high school is the perfect time to go in depth on those matters of theology. Voices of the Renaissance and Reformation is a supplement to the Famous Men biographies. This book, also compiled and edited by Rob Shearer, contains original documents that allow your students to read the person's own words translated into English. It has Petrarch's autobiography, a letter from Lorenzo de' Medici to his son, sermon excerpts by Savonarola, excerpts from Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks, poems by Michelangelo, as well as many writings, letters, and sermons by the Reformers. Historical images are included, so your teen can see portraits of the writers and also see what the documents looked like in their original forms. Voices of the Renaissance and Reformation is a great collection and a valuable addition to any study of that time period. Last, we have The King's Fifth by Scott Odell. This Newbery Honor book is set in the time of the conquistadors, as they explored the Americas and looked for gold. This particular tale relates the story of a young map maker who was with Coronado's army. Esteban was part of a group of 7 men who left that army and struck out on their own, ending up in what is now the southwest states of the United States. The narrative is written in a jail cell, for Esteban is the only man left alive of that original 7. He knows where the gold was hidden, and the king is demanding his portion of that treasure, the king's fifth. This is a great story about history and what greed can do to people. All of these books offer prime opportunities for discussion with your high school students. Take advantage of these opportunities, even as you give your students more independence in their lessons. The student narration guidebooks will help you keep a good balance. Your students will have clear instructions about what to read and when, and about making entries in their book of centuries, and about note-taking and narrations. Each day's reading assignments can be seen at a glance, but we recommend that your students break up the various readings, doing shorter readings at different times of the day rather than all of them back to back to back. This approach will help keep your students' minds fresh and their attention sharp. And at the end of each day's lesson, your students will see a reminder to give you their narrations and discuss their readings. So the guidebooks offer a great balance between independent work and teacher involvement. Check the description for links to the guidebooks and to a list of bonus titles that your students will enjoy, as well as to the new curriculum designed for the whole family, A Pageant of History. I will also leave a link to our recommendations for high school credits, so you can see how everything fits together to give your high school students an excellent and enjoyable education. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.